X, she's Ree, and the time has come to stop being this diplomatic and respectful. Let's look at a movie and talk about some stuff. Today we're going to take a look at a little, though I know I should be wary, still I venture someplace scary, ghastly hauntings I turn loose. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Shout out to the cartoon, even though it is so very, very different than the movies.
That was good.
I was a bigger fan of the cartoon
The
than I
cartoons were
was of
so
the
much
movie.
funnier. I really like the cartoons.
I
That's the
mean,
one I really enjoyed.
maybe because of my age, maybe I don't know. But um, for the rest of this, I'm gonna try to play a little bit of a game. I'm gonna try and do what unlike most movies, I actually saw some reviews of this before I did my review because I
Ooh, you
actually didn't.
cheated.
I actually didn't know I was gonna go see this opening weekend. Um,
So I do kind of want to shine in on that, or like shine the light on that, because like as someone that likes dark things and Beetlejuice and just all that Halloween genre, like I didn't even watch the trailer until now. So and that's crazy for me because I always watch like Beetlejuice, Adam's Family, all that stuff. I'm super into it, but I don't know. I was like a little afraid of it because I didn't want the whole thing to be ruined.
right.
I was excited about Michael Keaton. I'm always excited about Michael Keaton. But um yeah, so my main question here for you, which you haven't told me anything about it, luckily. But I just want to know if it's worth buying the ticket to see it in person, or if I should just, wait to stream it. um, because yeah, I'll go to the theater. I just don't because one broke, another I go to the theater for movies that are amazing. Like if I know like Deadpool, I already knew that was gonna be
Right. Right.
freaking good. Lord of the Rings franchise, The Hobbit, all theater, no questions asked. That's what's gonna happen. But there's our movies that I want to know if it's worth the ticket or not, because I don't know. So, and you always go anyway, so you're always my go-to. So yeah. So I'm excited. Let me know.
Well, price of admission worth it?
Okay.
Sorta. Sorta. Um,
Expand on that.
easily. If you are a straight up fan of the first movie,
Mm-hmm.
it's worth the price of admission.
Okay.
Straight up worth it. Um, I did
So
see it
write them.
opening weekend, so we did have a sizable crowd in there. It's doing very well financially, so it's come out the gate swinging. It has a huge theatrical release. Like, it's in a lot of theaters. Um, and soon as the lights dim and, your 35 minutes of previews for other stuff finally end and the movie starts starting, so your 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 2 o'clock showtime is really a 3:30 showtime or whatever. Like that finally ends,
Right.
you immediately feel, oh, this is a straight up sequel. Like it feels production wise like no beats were missed. It has the exact same energy, the exact same vibes, the exact same everything as the first movie. And what I
That's
was saying,
good.
since I watched a couple trailers, not trailers,
Mhm.
since I watched two other reviews before doing this, I'm gonna play a little game they played. I'm gonna try not to say it 3 times, even though I just did for the cute little intro thing. I'm gonna see if I can do it. So
You already fucking ruined it.
that was for the intro. That was different. That was poetry.
Fine, it doesn't count. Clean slate,
Um,
go for it.
but yeah, so as soon as the screen comes up and you got your Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice is your title. Yeah, that was too. Um, Visual
Damn.
effects wise, it plays to the same. It dances to the exact same beat as the first movie. Like they didn't say, "Oh, we have access to all this cool CGI nonsense. We can just make a mistake." No, it's consistent. It holds to its true pieces. The sets and costumes, it feels by looking at it exactly like you would expect that wacky Tim Burton created mind world would be 30 years
Love
later.
it.
It's just the same thing, just grown up. It incorporates a few modern elements, but nothing crazy. Like my girl's driving a Tesla for reasons, and I didn't see too much use of a cell phone, or either that I'm just sensitized to it because it's really normal. So the
Okay.
same house, um, the same
Nice.
little town, a lot of the same things are right back. So it really helps it feel grounded, consistent. The characters, everyone in this movie belongs in this movie. Well, sorry, that's inappropriate. Everyone in this movie is acting and performing and fitting into whatever this movie was, and it kind of jams. I don't want to say it's modernized. I just want to say it grew up 30 years rather reasonably.
So a little on that because I don't hate on Jenna Ortega. In fact, I was glad that she got picked to be Wednesday Adams
Mm-hmm.
because she did it really well.
Yep.
That could have totally went south. But I feel like ever since she did, it became like her whole personality.
Yeah.
And and admittedly, I didn't know how she was prior to that. So the fact that it's like, okay, she was Wednesday, is she just taking the Wednesdayness and then throwing it over here? Or do you forget that? I want to know, like, if I'm going to watch it, then I'm not going to think about all that, like, oh, this is Jenna Ortega. This is her, like, I'm in spooky movies and I wear gothy stuff, whatever, because I'm a huge fan of gothy stuff. Don't get me wrong. Love it, live it. But that's what I'm worried about. So,
Nah,
how does she fit well in it?
she is the exact right person to play Lydia Dietz's daughter.
Okay,
She fits here. She is a new element added to the new movie that straight up jams. Like she fits. Her
cool.
her I don't know, that mainline dark goth energy she can channel very well. I guess it helps her here, but she's not acting like Wednesday. She is a
Okay.
different character. I don't know what she's like in real life, and I feel like if I met her,
Yeah, neither do
I'd
I.
probably say something classically me like, "Do you play in Mortal Kombat?"
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know what she's like. I don't know if this is more her, if Wendy's more her, if she's just straight acting the whole time, but she fits. Um,
Okay.
that's like a solid performance. I got like no notes. She came in, she did her thing. Um,
Nice.
Catherine O'Hara,
Goat.
she Steph Curry the bejesus out this movie. I She is by no small margin my favorite entire thing in the whole movie. She made me laugh. She amused and entertained me the whole time. She's my favorite. Um, Fireworks,
Damn.
shooting stars, awesome. She was great. I was just like, yes.
I
Everyone
love
else
it.
can die. I don't care. I just want to watch her character be funny to me, and she was. Winona Ryder, like, Lydia is a hard character to play when you're not a teenage girl. Lydia is an awkward human being, like straight up super weird,
That,
and
yeah.
um, like so I think she kind of like did a good job. Like Lydia's weird,
That
and
is true. I didn't even think about that because it's like she had the teenage thing going, and it's like that definitely is hard living in the world that we're living in now. Like, how did Lydia change?
and being 40 something
Like,
trying to act like that. Like stop, what's wrong with you? You're grown, but like she did it,
right.
and I'm sure that's what she was told to do. So she did the assignment. She did the assignment. Monica Bellucci's here too. She does the same thing. I think she's done in 38 other movies she's been in. Like it's just she barely talks. Justin Theroux's in this bad boy. His character belongs in this world. Um, Willem Dafoe might be having the most fun out of anybody on the set. He looked like he was having a ball. Like he was having big fun and good times. And I'm pretty sure between takes he had an ear to ear grin. He's like, "This is so much fun. I'm having a great time. This is great to be here." Like I feel like he was just
I
brimming with positive energy.
I mean, there was a meme, not a meme, but there was a photo that was released of him and Jenna Ortega, and he looked straight up like a wax figure. So I'm like, oh, so it's Beetlejuice stuff. I
Yeah.
feel like that's what it is.
Oh yeah.
So that's awesome.
I kind of forgot he was in there until he came on screen and was like, "Oh yeah, he's here." And like I said in the trailers, I think he's having a great time. This is the most fun I think he's collected a check on in quite some time.
That is so cool.
Cameo, got a Danny DeVito cameo for no good reason in the movie.
Love
It's
it.
like cool. And then let's talk about the star. Michael Keaton come out here and just says, "Move." I'm chewing up the scenery in every scene I'm in. I am the show, and I'm about to play cricket water better than anybody else could ever imagine again. Like, this is his
Wow.
character. Can't nobody do this but him. And he comes out and does it. Like, the man just straight says, "What'd you order? Here it is." He just straight up delivers. So there's no arguments. There's no complaints there. Everybody does a good job. Like I'm saying, like consistency in doing that character. I guess Winona Ryder gets this point too for consistency in doing her character the same way, even though it's just weird because her character's older. Catherine O'Hara is absurd as a person, a rich person who's very, very bougie in this movie, and it's hilarious, and she's
Yep.
consistent. A 30-plus-year-old sequel is hard to keep that level of consistency on, and like they did it. Like, this is what kind of
Especially
him.
the kookiness. The
Yes,
kookiness is a hard sell in this day and age, so
this is
that's
kind of
awesome.
that level of consistency trying to hit is kind of what hemmed up George Lucas between Return of the Jedi and Phantom Menace, because he got drunk on CGI and forgot what made the golden age of Star Wars the golden age. So the silver age takes that silver medal, and then we're in the age of Star Wars right now. It'll get better hopefully one day. I don't know. But
Okay, well, for the Michael Keaton part, I did notice in the trailer, he seemed like he didn't have, and this is not a shot, I was just noticing, because I still think he did it well. You saw me watching it. I don't know if you were looking at me watching it. I was like still laughing. So I liked it all. The trailer was amazing. But I did notice the maybe the one change I would think from 30 years ago, to now, which is a change that we all go through. It just seemed like he didn't have as much energy as Beetlejuice then had. Like, like kind of stuff. And now he's just like, ah, like
I
more
mean,
sarcastic, more whatever, but not like so energetic, movement super fast and whatever. But he was still Beetlejuice. It's just older Beetlejuice, which is
time
fine.
catches all of us.
Right. That's what I was just saying. I noticed it a little bit, but I still like it. That's my whole takeaway from it is like he still did the thing.
Yeah,
So I thought that was
he
cool.
100% showed up. Plot wise, I'm not going to spoil much beyond the trailers, but there's not much necessarily to spoil. Like, plot's odd. Plot's odd on this movie. See, uh, what I think is it seems like this was two, three, maybe even four script adaptations that got kind of amalgamated into this. And then we have like two movies worth of uh, wasp wine scripts that got fused into what we got here. And
Oh.
like the first one makes a lot of sense because it's like the dominant DNA in this film. Is like, I call this one the finalist. It's like a story about what happens to Lydia Dietz as she grows up, has a child, and now her daughter has to deal with the juice man the way she did. And it's like that's mostly what happens in this movie. It's not
Okay.
That's not mostly. It's a lot of what happens in this movie. And it should have been mostly what happens in this movie because it should have been, in my opinion, more Jenna Ortega and Michael Keaton kind of
That's what I thought it was going to be
and that would
honest
have
with you.
made plenty of sense. Could have worked. Would have been fine. And that's the part one. Part two, the silver medalist, the runner-up, is this other movie that I think would have been the movie we got if they made the sequel to Chapuli Orchata decades ago. Um,
Thank you.
because oh no, I have a lot of them written down. um, um, but like, I think they were gonna make a movie that was a sequel and didn't involve the living, because you have this element in this movie of his first wife of being some soul sucking demon cult, and it's like, oh, it's the soul sucking ex wife meme. Yeah, sure. And now it's taken form, and that's what Monica Bellucci's character is. And she's a villain. She's coming to drain his soul for
Oh.
reasons. And we get a glimpse of how he died when he was a living person. And it's like, oh, I think
What?
there was a movie someone wanted to make that was like more his backstory and more his life in
Right.
the Nether world. And that is that movie that just got jammed into this first movie. Because there are times where you're like, how do these things intersect? Like, are you trying to show me the starting point here, the starting point there, and they're gonna move along and then they're gonna intersect, and then boom, in Act 3, it's gonna all come together and make sense? In Act 3, it comes together. It does not make sense. And it's completely unnecessary. And there are parts of this movie you could cut out and not miss them.
So there you think that some of it was unfinished business, basically.
I mean, it could have been, and you could have made either one of those things into a functional movie. And you could have been like, okay, Cicada Milk Part 2, here's the thing, and you get it, but it doesn't feel like these two things really jammed well. It didn't braid together into one strand very well, I think, because some of it was just like no joke, no joke. Act 2-ish, you don't see the ex-wife for several minutes. Like, you're like 15, 20 minutes go by. You can very easily forget she's in the movie. And she shows up, you're like, oh, yeah, she's in the movie. What is she doing? What does happen here? What does all this?
Do you think, that's really weird. Like that kind of makes me want to watch it in theaters now. Because now I'm like, well, maybe do you think possibly like if you watch it again, then you'll see the thread that, sewed it together or
No, ain't
like
no thread there. Because I can't say that I genuinely wanted to see it. So I sat down. There was no fandom blocking my vision. There was no rose
oh,
colored lenses. There was no nostalgia clouding. I was just looking
well,
just
like
like
no
I was
expectation.
a little more critical than I would be on something watching it. And I was just like, I ain't got enough Skittles for all this. Like, it was like I was just like, I didn't want it to end. I wanted it to start making some cohesive sense. And it makes, I guess, enough for somebody. But I'm like, normally when I walk out of a movie, I go, I could cut off about 8 to 12 minutes of that. I could for sure cut 8 to 12 minutes of that movie out, and it would move along just like it did. Now, aside from those little parts I have a problem with, if you like the first movie, they do that thing where you say, what are all the fun gags and jokes and moments that highlight reel from the first movie that we want to make sure we hit? And you're like, okay, let's go put our hats on and go back and look at Termite Sangria Part 1 and be like, what do we got? We're going to do this number. We're going to do this gag. We're going to do that gag. And that's great for nostalgia, but I hate that for something that's a comedy because that's the reason I didn't like Hangover 2. They literally pulled the blueprint for Hangover 1 out and said, let's run every joke the same timing and same way again. And it's like, bro, why? Hangover, man.
So they did that for this. So
Not to the degree of Hangover 2, but enough you're like, oh, we're doing this because we have to check the box. No! You're better than this. No.
So is it a situation in which maybe like all the funny things were in the trailer
No.
and there's okay.
No, there's plenty of goofy nonsense that's not in the trailer at all.
Hmm.
Either trailer. I watched both them joints. No. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it's unusual as a movie because it just feels like it's not horrible. I don't want to describe it as a train wreck. It's definitely looks like, I bet if there's like bonus features and behind the scenes, if you can look at this, I would not be surprised in the slightest bit if I heard that there were 4 treatments or adaptations of the script that just got hodgepodge together to come up with this, and then they rolled
It
with it.
sounds like there was too many hands in the pot.
Maybe.
Like so many opinions, were given in the writing, producing, directing, whatever of the whole situation. Because you have Tim Burton, but then also Winona's been a big part of it, and now she's an adult. Now she has a say. I wonder if she did have any kind of say in the situation.
Or if she was just happy to get
So
a check. Like, I'll show up and do
that
whatever you
too.
want. Just make sure I get paid. I got
No, I don't
bills.
mean it in a bad way though, because I think she has good ideas.
Maybe I don't know
Um,
her.
but if I mean, it's not like I freaking know her, but I think that if you're saying that, that maybe that's what the situation was. There's a lot of people with a lot of ideas, and it was like, okay, let's do this. How are we going to fit this in? How I feel like it was just a lot of fun, maybe, and
There
they
was
just
for
wanted to
sure a
add
lot of
all the
that.
fun stuff and just have an excuse to play the characters again, sort of. Which I'm not complaining about that because it all just sounds like it's a movie not to be taken so seriously. It's a movie just to have fun, and it's the
Yes.
holiday, it's the spooky season. So fuck it. Because when you think about it, the other Beetlejuice movie that came out, it was they freaking the home decor alone like
Oh yeah.
made no sense. It absolutely made no sense. There's a lot of things in there that I had a lot of questions about. The
I mean,
fact that
that's
like
just
you
Delia
go to the
Dietz.
office and it's all demons and ghouls and like why that? Like I just never knew. And then like I just there's so many questions. But then not only that, but just the whole party scene is like, oh, we're gonna haunt and we're gonna do it this way, and then her friend is super into, doing whatever exercising
That fake wannabe
ghosts.
seance he tried to pull off. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. All of it was just so crazy, but it's enjoyable. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
what it kind of sounds like.
This is
It's just
a
it's just fun. Like
it's a carnival of silliness. Sure, sure, sure. A lot of that from the first movie that gave it that visual style is Delia Dietz as an artist
yeah.
throwing her art everywhere, and that's front and center here again as well. Except she's richer and
Oh.
like she's so about her art, and it's just like, oh yes, just give me that with two spoons. I'm gonna tear that whole thing up. I love it. It's great. But overall, um, I don't think I don't think this was for me. Like as an overall, my impression of it, I don't think last one Boll Revel Reduction Part Two was for me. I don't think it was. Uh,
Shit.
it's something where my end result is like, do I say it's worth the price of admission? If you like Part One, yes. Otherwise,
So,
I will probably never watch this movie again. Full
are
stop.
you saying out of one being the worst, 10 being the best, um, where are you at on Beetlejuice, the first one?
Okay, so if 10 on
Just
this
answer the
scale
question.
is Big Trouble in
Just
Little China, which means I'm going to watch it over again and again and again and again and again. I'm going to love it like it's a member of my family. And
you can't say
one,
watch it again. I'm not saying watch it again and
I said,
again and
and
again
love
because
it.
you watch Waterworld again and again and again and again. So that's not the same criteria. I'm saying
And
like
love it.
enjoyable, you fucking loved it. Like you may not watch it again, but it was so good. Like, okay, how about this?
And,
I don't know how you completely felt about it, but like Dune 2, okay?
okay, Dune 2 was great.
Being 10, okay? That's your thing.
I wouldn't call it
One
a 10, but it was
being
great.
what whatever. One being
X-Men 3, The Last
there you
Stand.
go.
Okay, so
X-Men or Pokemon or not
this
Pokemon.
is better than X-Men 3, The Last Stand. I didn't get up to walk out of the theater
No,
on
I'm
this movie.
talking about the first Beetlejuice you ever saw.
Same thing.
Did you enjoy it?
I feel the exact same way about that movie as I do about this one.
So you're just not into those types of things.
No, no, that's not that. So I just don't like those movies. I looked at it and I thought,
That's
this
exactly
is.
what I just said. I said you're not in to those types of things.
I
Like
don't want to discredit the whole horror comedy silliness genre. No, I'm just saying Scorpion
I'm not
Beer is
talking
too
about
silly.
discrediting. I'm talking about your opinion,
Of
your likes and dislikes.
sure, this particular intellectual property is too
Okay,
bonkers
we're not having a presidential
goofy.
debate right
I'm
now.
just saying, this one's too
You
goofy for me. There are
Oh, that's all
horror
I'm
comedies
saying.
that I'll laugh at. This one's too goofy.
That's that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, okay, so this is just not your favorite thing. Like you'll watch it, but like it's not something that you're gonna like.
I looked at
Okay.
Kelly in the middle of the theater like this. You're enjoying this?
Oh,
Really?
I would have been so mad.
I
I would
didn't
have been so
say
because it's
that
like,
because
oh,
she had an
you're
ear to ear
killing
grin
it.
on her
Because if
face and
she
she was having
was,
a blast. I was just like, oh, okay, that's what I paid
that's
for
what I'm
this
saying.
over here. Cool.
If she was having so much fun and you turn and like if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, leave. If you're not, you're killing. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Like
I didn't.
you're
I just looked and did a vibe check. Like, oh, she's having a great time. Okay, cool. I'll just sit here and endure because this movie is it's a, it's
it's
it's a chocolate covered grasshopper. I don't
oh,
know if you like
why?
those. I don't know anyone that likes those, but plenty of people like chocolate.
I feel like you don't
I
know me.
don't. And grasshoppers might taste weird. I don't know, I never had, but I don't intend to eat a grasshopper.
Just source protein.
But if you cover it in chocolate, if the grasshopper does taste weird, you need the chocolate to come in and rescue you from that jacked up bug flavor. Except in this case, I don't like chocolate, so it can't save me. This ain't for me. That's all I'm gonna say. It's Beetlejuice. I did it 3 times. I don't care. It ain't for me.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. That's all. That's all I wanted to know. But okay. So it's worth the price of admission, to be clear. That's always my
Sure.
shit.
If you like the first
Always my
one,
question.
definitely you're gonna like this one.
So as a person like me who likes stupid, I'm not gonna even say stupid, like corny, cutesy, it's spooky season. I really want to just dive into anything related to spooky season stuff, nostalgia, la la la. Like that's worth the price of admission. But if it's not your cup of tea, or if you want to see some like serious cinematic treasure, like don't watch it. Just wait till it comes out.
Some things are so goofy looking that they should just be animated. If you just animate it, this would have been more palatable because it's really hard to make live action look and behave animated and it not be clown shoes. That's what my problem with it is.
But
That's why I like the
that's
cartoon better than the movies. That's exactly why. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's exactly why. Because the animation being silly, slapstick, goofy, it's animation. That's what it's for. Because you can do this impossible, gnarly, goofy nonsense. The movie, it's like, why don't you just animate this? This is bothering me. Except when Catherine O'Hara is making me laugh.
so it's just not your cup of tea, bro.
That's why I said it's not for me. I'm not calling it a train wreck. I'm not saying it's
But I do agree that the cartoons were way better and one of the best. I love that. I
I'm just
love
saying,
it.
like, I probably will never watch it again, even when it's on HBO Max or Netflix or whatnot. Kelly did a whole double feature. She watched the whole first one and was just like, "Let's go," and was like
That's
super
what I
hyped
was
for it.
planning to do.
I'm like, "Cool, do that." I was playing PlayStation while she was watching that. Like, I'm not that turned up for it. I'm really not.
That is
I'm
so
not
funny.
saying it's evil and it's an abomination and we should boycott it in theaters and take
I'm
it out.
not taking that as
I'm
you
not
saying
taking
that.
I'm not taking
I
it that
just
far.
needed
I'm just
to know.
this ain't the one for me.
I just needed to know where on the scale it fit for you. But I love that you said, like, knowing what your take is on it in the first place. You were like, if you like the first one,
Oh, this is all the way.
go watch it. Like,
This is
but
another
now it's
serving of
like,
your
well,
favorites.
if you
Thank you.
like dumb shit, then you'll like this dumb shit. But okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, nothing else to do. Feel free to disagree with me. Get all up in the comments. Tell me why I'm wrong. I'm inviting the conversation. I don't understand why people like this so much. Really don't. I can understand why you would like it, but why so much? Because
Nostalgia.
it wasn't that
Not
funny
only, but here's the
outside
thing you
one person.
forget too. Because here's the thing too. Like you saw, like, okay, you walk into Walmart. I don't know about everybody else's Walmarts, but you walk into Walmart right now and you see Beetlejuice apple something soda.
Yeah.
You see all the shirts, all the decor, all that stuff. Now, if you ever walked into a Spencer's and a Hot Topic, that's been there for a minute, but now it's like on steroids right now.
Right.
So, like, it's just nostalgia. I think that's what it was. And honestly, too, there you brought two parties in. You brought or they brought two parties in. Lovers of Michael Keaton because it's been a
That's a
hot
big pull.
minute.
That's a big pull. Dude's awesome.
Dude is amazing. And then you have the new Jenna Ortega. So
Them
you
people might be
brought
weird.
these
I don't know
two
about them young
things.
people.
And then Catherine O'Hara, she's always hilarious.
She
I
was the best part of the
mean,
movie.
right. So like you brought the two generations, in, and especially because people that are my age or your whatever, like mostly have kids. Like I really wanted my kid to see it because he's seen Beetlejuice and I mean on the Just Dance when there was, the Wii, like you had the shake 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 Sonora kind of
Oh,
thing.
okay.
So that's where I was
I
going
was
with it.
really wondering where you were going
So,
with that.
right. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like I want to bring my kid. Like my friend brought his daughter, who is I think she was turning 6 or 7, to the movie theater. That was part of her birthday situation. Like I want to see Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Like that's it. So, I mean, it's just fun. That's all it is. It's fun.
Okay.
So, very similar to like if they did a Nightmare Before Christmas. I would be really upset though if they did a Nightmare Before Christmas, another movie. Please don't do that. Anybody hearing me, whatever, please don't do that. Don't ruin it. It's classic. Leave it alone. Don't touch it, please. Thank you. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, Disney's doing pretty okay, so they might leave. Wait, that was Disney, right? Leave that alone. Was that Disney?
It
Fox
was
did it,
Disney.
right? Now they own it, probably something like that. I think. I have to
Disney
research it.
owns it. Yeah, the
I
Nightmare
think it
was
was a
really
Fox
weird. Like
movie, and then
Tim Burton got his name on it, but he didn't even really do much with it. I think somebody else. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. But
well, um,
either way,
I hope they don't. But yeah, cool.
yeah.
Thanks for rocking with us. Share with a friend, argue with me in the comments, let me know, educate me, enlighten me, and we out.
And let the chaos go. People talking nonsense, and they acting so foolish. Every topic, every discussion is a true bliss. From aliens to unicorns,